I grew up in Family Feud, like not the game, like real life situations every day.
In a world where late-night television was ruled by men in suits, one woman from a quiet suburb in Canada dared to break the pattern. No Hollywood connections, no studio backing. Just a camera, a bedroom, and an unshakable belief that laughter could change lives. Before she was a global icon, Lilly Singh was simply Superwoman, a girl who uploaded comedy sketches to escape her own sadness. But that escape soon became a revolution, one that turned millions of clicks into a cultural awakening. How did a young woman from Scarborough, born to immigrant parents, go from filming YouTube skits to becoming the first bisexual woman of color to host a late-night network show in America? What battles did she fight behind the smiles, and what did it truly cost her to win? This is the untold story of a dreamer who refused to fit any mold and built her own stage instead. This is Lilly Singh, the woman who turned laughter into power. Lilly Singh was born on September 26, 1988, in Scarborough, Ontario, a vibrant yet modest suburb of Toronto. Her parents, Malwinder and Sukhwinder Singh, had immigrated from Punjab, India, carrying with them the hopes and traditions of their Sikh heritage. Within the walls of her family's home, respect, education, and discipline weren't just expectations, they were sacred values. But young Lilly, restless and imaginative, often felt torn between two worlds: the quiet obedience of her upbringing and the loud, colorful chaos of Western culture. In school she was bright but introverted, the kind of student who made teachers smile but struggled silently inside. Behind her wide grin was a storm no one saw coming: anxiety, loneliness, and later, a deep battle with depression. She once described her teenage years as a war between who I was supposed to be and who I wanted to become. Instead of turning inward, she turned to creation. She filled journals with ideas, poems, and jokes, her own secret therapy. Her mother's quick wit and her father's work ethic would later become pillars of the characters she created online, from strict Indian moms to clueless brown dads. In that small Scarborough home, amid cultural contradictions and quiet struggles, the foundation of Superwoman was born, not as a persona but as survival. It was 2010 when Lilly Singh made a decision that would quietly rewrite her destiny. Out of boredom, frustration, and a desperate need for expression, she created a YouTube channel called I Superwoman I, a name she chose to remind herself that strength could be self-made. With nothing but a webcam, a laptop, and a burning desire to be heard, Lilly began uploading short comedy videos from her bedroom. Her earliest sketches poked fun at cultural clashes between immigrant parents and their westernized kids, stories that millions had lived but few had ever dared to laugh about. Publicly, her authenticity struck a nerve. Viewers from Toronto to London to New Delhi saw themselves in her jokes. They didn't just laugh, they felt seen. Within a few months, the girl who once felt invisible had built an online family that kept growing by the millions. But beyond the humor, her secret power was empathy. She wasn't just performing, she was connecting. Each upload became a lifeline, for her audience and for herself. As her alter ego Superwoman went viral, brands, talk shows, and global fans began to take notice. And in an era when YouTube was still considered a hobby, Lilly Singh was quietly becoming one of the platform's first true digital pioneers, the voice of a generation that refused to be boxed in. By 2015, Lilly Singh wasn't just a YouTuber, she was a global phenomenon. Her infectious energy, quick wit, and fearless honesty had turned her into a household name for an entire generation raised online. With over 10 million subscribers, world tours, and a devoted fan base calling themselves the Team Super, Lilly became a symbol of joy, resilience, and representation. Her 2015 documentary, A Trip to Unicorn Island, captured the height of her success, a sold-out world tour that felt more like a movement than a show. She wasn't just performing comedy. She was delivering hope to people who had once felt unseen. The same girl who once battled depression was now dancing on arena stages, telling the world that happiness was a choice worth fighting for. Hollywood took notice. She collaborated with stars like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Selena Gomez, and James Franco, appearing in films, music videos, and campaigns that blurred the line between digital and mainstream fame. Then came her first book, How to Be a Boss, which became a New York Times bestseller, cementing her as not just a comedian, but a motivational force. Awards and accolades poured in. Forbes 30 Under 30, People's Choice, Teen Choice, and Streamy Awards. But beyond the trophies, her greatest triumph was redefining what success could look like for women of color. She proved that charisma, creativity, and courage could build an empire. No Hollywood gatekeepers required. At her peak, Lilly Singh wasn't just a star of YouTube. She was the voice of the digital generation, turning authenticity into a revolution. But every rise, no matter how bright, casts a shadow. As Lilly's fame soared, so did the pressure to stay funny, to stay perfect, to stay superwoman. What began as passion slowly morphed into exhaustion. The endless cycle of content, performance, and positivity became a silent trap. Behind the laughter, Lilly was burning out. In 2018, she opened up about her mental health, admitting she felt disconnected from her purpose. The internet, once her sanctuary, had turned into a battlefield of comparisons, criticism, and impossible expectations. Some fans accused her of losing her spark. Others demanded constant reinvention. Then came her boldest move, stepping off YouTube to take on late-night television. In 2019, NBC announced, "A Little Late with Lilly Singh," making her the first woman of color and first bisexual woman to ever host a late-night show on a major U.S. network. It was a historic milestone, but also a brutal challenge. Critics were harsh. Ratings stumbled. Some claimed the show felt forced or too politically correct. The same audiences that had once celebrated her online authenticity struggled to embrace her new TV persona. The internet turned on her with the same speed it once lifted her up. But amid the noise and negativity, Lilly faced a deeper realization. She had spent years trying to prove she belonged in rooms that were never built for her. The crown of Superwoman had grown heavy. The world saw a public stumble. But for Lilly Singh, this was not the end. It was the painful breaking point before transformation. After the chaos faded, Lilly Singh disappeared from the spotlight. Not in defeat, but in rediscovery. She took a step back from the relentless grind of fame to do something far braver. Listen to herself. No scripts, no expectations, no characters, just Lilly. In 2021, she came out publicly as bisexual, an announcement that reshaped how the world saw her, and how she saw herself. For the first time, she wasn't hiding behind Superwoman. She was simply being human. That honesty opened a new chapter, one rooted not in perfection, but in truth. She re-emerged as a producer, writer, and activist, using her platform to champion mental health, women's empowerment, and LGBTQ+ visibility. From motivational keynotes to global brand partnerships, Lilly transformed her struggles into lessons. Her children's book, Be a Triangle, reflected a calmer, wiser version of the performer who once chased applause. On screen, she returned in fresh roles, voicing characters for The Muppets Mayhem on Disney+, producing her own projects, and mentoring young creators on YouTube and beyond. When asked what success means now, Lilly replied softly, "It's not about being the loudest voice in the room anymore. It's about being the most authentic one." The Superwoman may have hung up her cape, but Lilly Singh had finally become something even stronger, herself. Today, Lilly Singh stands as more than just a digital trailblazer. She's a symbol of courage, creativity, and self-acceptance. From a lonely teenager in Scarborough to one of the world's most recognized South Asian entertainers, her journey reshaped what it means to succeed in Hollywood. She broke ceilings not just for women of color, but for anyone who's ever felt too different to belong. Her laughter turned pain into purpose. Her voice turned vulnerability into power. In a world that demands perfection, Lilly taught millions that authenticity is the real revolution. Her story reminds us that fame is fleeting, but impact endures. Every video, every joke, every moment of honesty left behind a digital legacy that continues to inspire a new generation of creators to dream louder and live freer. Lilly Singh's journey proves that the loudest power doesn't come from shouting. It comes from standing tall, even when you stand alone. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every star's rise hides a story the world needs to hear.